Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here. Welcome to the August 2022 channel update. I'm recording this August 28th for channel members. You get this for 1 week exclusive, and then it goes to the general public, September 4th? Yes, wow, good guess. So September 4th, this will go public, but if you're a channel member, thank you so much for becoming a channel member and supporting this channel with your hard-earned dollars. So this month was interesting. Thymesia came out, which is a Souls-like, more like a Bloodborne-like, I guess. Came out about 2 weeks ago. I was provided a review key for it, made some guides, streamed the entire game. It's quite short. I'd say it's worth your time. It's a quick romp. You can get it done in a couple days. If you're just looking for something to play over a weekend, check out Thymesia. It has some interesting issues. I covered this on stream pretty in depth, but basically there seems to be like the game wants you to learn how to parry very well, which is fine, but it doesn't offer you enough opportunities to learn how to parry very well. Your parry offers you no invincibility frames. It does not stagger enemies. It just allows you to effectively block it without taking damage. It's just like a perfect block. It doesn't do anything for you other than make it so you don't take damage. That's it. It's cool to do, and it does offer the reward of sort of like in Sekiro, when you parry something, it does posture damage. Kind of a similar concept in Thymesia. It allows you to deal true damage, let's call it, to the enemy. It's a bit of a complicated mechanic, but easy enough to learn. Anyway, I think it's a good game. It's worth the time. There's some really cool there's some really cool enemy designs, and the level designs are great. Just wish it was a bit longer. Could have used some more time to cook, but it's definitely worth your $25 and a weekend of your time if you're looking for something to play. So check it out. You can also check out the stream archives if you just want to get a taste for it. So what's next? I've danced around this kind of topic a bit. I've mentioned wanting to do this, but I'm committing to do a walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, as well as Ocarina of Time Master Quest. So the way this is going to work is, the reason for this is because my guides for A Link to the Past still get a ton of views. Like, I kind of don't understand why. The game is like 30 years old. Sure, it's on Switch, which is awesome. It's on the SNES emulator thing. And so more people are discovering it, which is great. But I get comments on it all, every week. 1 or 2 videos from that walkthrough will get comments. And I don't know, like I know A Link to the Past very well. I used to speedrun it, so it was easy enough for me to make that whole series in like 5 hours. Like, I finished the game in 2.5 hours, and I was able to make all the videos in 2.5 hours. Like, I did it really quick. Ocarina of Time is a longer game for sure, and it's also a game that, while I have played it a lot over the years, I don't have it completely memorized like I do A Link to the Past. Like A Link to the Past, I could literally sit here and dictate every screen that you go to in a speedrun from memory. Like, that's just, it's so ingrained in me. Ocarina of Time, much less so, and Master Quest, even less so. But I am going to do a walkthrough for it. I'm currently in the stage of just like playing through the game again, just to refamiliarize myself with it. And then I have to route the Gold Scatola side quest because I want to do a 100% walkthrough. But the way I think I'm going to go about it is I will go dungeon by dungeon. Like, it'll be similar to like a full playthrough walkthrough series that I've done in the past for a bunch of games. Like, part 1, you start the game, go through the first dungeon. Part 1 ends there. Part 2 is getting to the next dungeon, doing the next dungeon. Walkthrough ends there. Very similar to what I did for Link to the Past, except with Link to the Past, because it's a smaller game, you can do whatever side quest is required for the dungeon in 45 seconds or 5 minutes. It's like very, very quick. Ocarina of Time takes a fair bit longer, so the videos are going to be longer. Also, the dungeons as Adult Link are quite long as well. I mean, the Forest Temple and Fire Temple are really long. They are substantial dungeons, which is fine, but the videos are just going to be a bit longer. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to route the Gold Skulltulas. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go dungeon by dungeon, and then I'll get the Skulltulas that are in the dungeons, but I will leave everything in the overworld until last. So, like, we will complete the dungeons, get all the gold Skulltulas, and then just move on. And then before I do Ganon's Tower, I will go back and get all the Hyrule Field and overworld Skulltulas, get, the fourth bottle from the Poe side quest, get all the heart pieces, whatnot, and then we'll go from there. That's sort of the way I'm thinking about it right now. But again, the way I'm going to do this is I'm basically going to have 2 files, or maybe just one, and then I'll just play through a section and then play through it again. I'll just play through it. I won't save. I'll play through it again, record that, do the commentary, and then end it and save. And then this way I'm like sort of playing the game twice in very quick succession, and everything is very fresh in my mind, rather than playing through the entire game, attempting to keep it all in there, and then going through it again. I feel like I would just make less mistakes doing it this way. I don't have a release date for this walkthrough. Because it's an older game, I'm just going to record it and drop it all at once, just like what I did with A Link to the Past a couple of years ago. There's no high demand for an Ocarina of Time walkthrough. It's not a new game. It's 24 years old at this point. So, I think we can get away with just dropping it all in one day. But because I'm doing Ocarina of Time and Master Quest, I think what I'm probably going to do is just release vanilla Ocarina of Time's walkthrough and then later do Master Quest. Like, I'll probably do them back to back, but, I won't drop it all on the same day, basically. Probably like a month or so apart. The interesting thing is that with Master Quest, for those of you who have never heard of it or have never played it, Master Quest has only been released twice. It was originally supposed to be on the 64 disk drive, which never came to America, and even in Japan only had like 11 games on it or something like that. It is a failed Nintendo project. It's a very rare piece of equipment if you can get your hands on it. It's something that I'm hoping to get one day, but the price just keeps going up and up, and who knows if it'll happen. But basically, it's the same game, but everything is remixed, so all the dungeons are different. It's the same rooms, but the puzzles are different in each room. So it's a bit harder. You run into later enemies earlier. Like, I think there's fire keys within the Deku Tree. Like, right off the bat, you are put in the mix, and it is more difficult. So it was released on GameCube as part of a pre-order disc when you pre-ordered Wind Waker. If you pre-ordered Wind Waker, you got this disc. It had Ocarina of Time and Ocarina of Time Master Quest. That was the first release. This disc goes for upwards of $100 online. In stores, if you're able to find it, probably like $150. There's a decent markup on this thing. I have this disc. I actually pre-ordered Wind Waker before I owned a GameCube because I wanted Master Quest. Like, I wanted Wind Waker, but I was just like not even that interested in it. I just wanted Master Quest. And then it was released again as part of the Ocarina of Time 3D cartridge. Master Quest could be unlocked after finishing the base game. However, there is a version difference there in that the 3D version of the game on 3DS is mirrored. It is not mirrored on GameCube. So on GameCube, everything is the same. The dungeons are just remixed, and the Skulltulas are in all different locations. But on 3DS, everything is mirrored, including the overworld. So the walkthrough will be effective for both versions of the game, but it's sort of like using a Twilight Princess walkthrough from GameCube for the Wii version, because the Wii version is mirrored as well, or the opposite way around. So there is a version difference, but it's the same exact game, just backwards or flipped. I don't know how you want to call it, but that's what's next. As far as new releases go, God of War Ragnarok for sure. There's a couple games that maybe get released this year that I'll cover. Last Faith, I've talked about a bunch. That's definitely one of them. I'm also interested in Blossom Tales 2. I think that's what it's called, Blossom Tales, right? Blossom Tales 2. Yeah, Blossom Tales 2, The Minotaur Prince. It's currently only on Switch. I might wait for a PlayStation or an Xbox release. It's on Steam as well, but I don't know. I have my PlayStation hooked up, and I don't feel like digging an Xbox out. And I don't know. I'm weird with where I buy games. But it is another Zelda-like. It's getting great reviews. Definitely check it out. But as far as coverage, it's going to be Ocarina of Time. Then we'll move into God of War probably, unless something else comes out. But yeah, that's it. That's the update. Yeah, nothing else. I'm happy to kind of be back in the swing of things, like streaming Thymesia and doing those guides. Kind of got the creative juices flowing again, and I'm like ready to kind of get back to things. I feel like this summer hiatus is kind of over for me after moving to LA, so happy to be back at it. All right, before we wrap up, I want to give a shout out to my channel members. I never have this up when it's time to do this, so just bear with me. Okay. Thank you very much to John Aldrich, Tammy Skinner, Hector J. Estrada, Joe Saunders, Daniel Cockerill, Spencer Young, Phoenix Loader, Jude Lazowski, The Old One, Brian Brubaker is back. Welcome back, Brian. Stu J. Mac 26, and Bag Dat Money. Thank you all so much for the support. If you'd like to become a channel member and get these channel updates 1 week early, you can do so by clicking the blue join button below this video. There's various tiers that you can join at, and this is really the only exclusive offering, just being honest. I don't gate my walkthrough content. There's no point in that. Okay, so that's it. All right, any questions, leave a comment. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Links are in the description, and I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.